This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Now here's your host,
the cream of the crop,
Nick Dieterding.
Come on.
Welcome back to the Universal Wrestling Podcast. My name is Nick Dieterding. Thank you for tuning in. You've heard the saying before, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. My web camera breaks 5 minutes before the interview, so I use the built-in option on the laptop. I look a little fuzzy, but who the hell cares? It was a good conversation. Before we get to the conversation, on the next episode, former WWE writer Chris Dunn returns to the program, and we welcome Tony Chimmel to the show. It's going to be a really good conversation. I can't wait to record that one. But without further ado, let's get to this interview with Brian Pillman Jr. Here we go. So what's good, man? How you been?
Wonderful. Great.
It's good, man.
Traveling, working a lot.
Yeah. You said you were traveling. You're leaving tonight, right? You said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where are you going? I guess the next show.
Yeah, we do a taping once a month in Orlando. It's like our dark tapings. So
nice.
That's gonna be real cool.
I saw you last time I saw you live was at the Warrior Wrestling event in Chicago.
Okay.
You main evented right before Forbidden Door.
Nice.
Dude, you tore down the house. You and Tom Lawler are my two favorites.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love that show. That was a good show.
Hell yeah. How was it? How was it to main event right before Forbidden Door?
I thought that was cool. You know, I was on my way up there with my girlfriend at the time.
Nice.
And she's a big wrestling fan. So I was like, hey, I just told Warrior, I was like, look, I'm not booked for Forbidden Door, but I'm gonna go to the show anyway. So I'll bring my gear in case you guys need me. And then the main event guy, Speedball Mike Bailey, couldn't make the show. So
yeah.
And I was like, well, I've already been the Warrior champion, so it makes sense that he defends against me.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it made sense in all the storyline sake too, because I just wrestled them for it in that War of Attrition match a week before that. So it was just like, why, you know what I mean? Like,
why not?
Why would I not already be booked for this?
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I'm a big Tom Lawler fan. Have you had any interactions with him?
Yeah, he's really cool. I used to work at MLW with him, so I know him quite well. Yeah, he's cool.
That's one thing I missed. Like I said, I went to the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, but I really wanted to see the strong guys. I didn't get Limelight.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get Rouser. I didn't get Tom Lawler. So maybe next time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is kind of weird that they didn't use a lot of those guys. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the G1 Classic or something, because I know Lawler's in that, but yeah, it's weird. Whatever.
It was cool though. Forbidden Door was a great show. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Oh my God, tore down the house every match, man.
Yeah, that's great.
How you feeling after that table spot last week, man? Because the first one, dude, I heard that Griff.
I know. I mean, that guy one hurt the worst, but Griff came smacking. I mean, I'm a big guy, and he's a big guy. So really, I don't know how the hell the table didn't break, but it'd be one of those Botchamania moments, on the table. But we got to give him one,
Yeah,
that's why that show exists, is to put over all the tables. So but I mean, it is what it is. That's sort of, it kind of goes in with the story because he choke slammed him twice in the ring too. So might as well give him two on the fucking table, right?
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, it kind of sucks, your head hurts, because the table breaks and just kind of smacks you in the back of the head. So, because like I've taken a table like through a table.
Yeah.
I've never already been on the table.
And it didn't break. Yeah.
And it's just like, or even it breaking. Like I've never just like had someone bump onto me through the table.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't see that often, do you?
Yeah. So it's like, God damn, this is my first time. But yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a little banged up and pissed off about it, but it is what it is.
It is, yeah. Exactly.
He exchanged some words with us, and I got to go in the back and have some words with him. So hopefully that promo makes it to live TV.
Yeah.
But
that would be dope. How was it to work with Christian?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it was so cool when he first came in. He was a big bonus to our team and our morale. He was always super kind and helpful and shit. So it's really cool to see him finally getting let loose. I think he was just kind of chilling, being a baby face for a bit, having some fun matches. But But now it's like, okay, like he's about to come in and really flip the script, on some heel shit. So kind of goes into the whole patience and waiting to see what happens. A lot of fans want everything done right away, and I'm the same way. I want my shot and everything, but
of course,
you got to just go through the motions and let these heels get their heat. You know what I mean? And we'll get a fucking hell of a match out of them next week, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For me, I don't know when enough is enough when it comes to personal stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear it every week, and it's going to get that reaction, but I don't know. Jim Ross, I listened to his podcast, and he says there's to an extent where personal life is, not where you want to go.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? I mean, we hear it every now and then about your father. God bless his soul. Is like enough or what? I mean,
I think at some point something's got to give. At least I've got to come out there and get my comeuppance, right? You know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about utilizing it because, I've utilized my family story to get to where I'm at today. So it's kind of a part of who I am. It's kind of a part of the value that I bring to the organization. Is being able to tell those deep stories, so I'd be a hypocrite to say that the bad guys aren't allowed to take advantage of that too, if I'm allowed to take advantage of the benefits of it, so but yeah, I mean, again, I'm all about the show must go on and telling a cool story. It's just that at some point I'd like to tell my side of the story, you know what I mean? And like to take out all my frustrations, based on everything that's been happening to me. So, we've had a lot of these heels, have taken the piss out on me and stuff. And it's been very, very few opportunities for me to come back and kick some ass, but I think there's something on the horizon. So I think if people stay tuned, just like I said, a lot of times when you're a baby face and you're just kind of out there to kind of support the show and get people over. Maybe if I have a change of heart, or maybe if I have some big turn and I get to showcase that aggression that I've built up over that time. And I think then at that point, that'll be my time to shine. Right. So,
yeah. And I feel like I said, I'm a big fan of you. Obviously you're on the show. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. I haven't gotten to do too many lately. I used to do podcasts all the time and just try to get myself out there, but being with AEW, they have some strict media guidelines and stuff, and they want to make sure everything's approved. So I'm very glad that they went through and approved you guys. I mean, you guys must put on a pretty good show.
Yes, sir. So back to the whole Varsity Blondes thing. I mean, do you have any ambitions of being a singles wrestler? Because as much as Griff is, the man, and you two have such a, great chemistry in ring, outside the ring, and it just, you look good, two good looking guys, and it's just really cool to see. But what about singles? Do you have any ambitions there? Because
I've been having a whole lot of fun with, like I said, with these indie matches and the singles work that I've been doing. So it's definitely something I want to continue to work on and focus on. I really do like it a lot. No hard feelings to Griff. It's just that when we're tagging all the time, and that's all I'm thinking about. And to be fair, I didn't know a lot about tag wrestling until I started working with him, and because of Griff, I'm now a very confident, very skilled tag wrestler. I have a very good grasp of tag wrestling psychology. I have a lot of knowledge about it. And that's what it comes down to. I really enjoy it. I really love it. But at the end of the day, I really want to get out there and shine as my own sort of character. I want to be a very powerful singles wrestler. So
I love it.
I want to be a big threat. I want to be somebody at the top of the card that people go, oh shit, like this match is gonna get like some of my biggest inspirations are John Moxley and Bryan Danielson, just being a fighter, you know what I mean? I'm not out there to do a bunch of acrobatic shit. I'm more of a top heavier guy. I'm a bigger guy. A lot of people don't really realize until they meet me how big I am and how threatening I am, so I don't think I'm one of these, flashy, guys that's trying to make people happy. I want to make I want people to go watch myself and go, ooh, God, he really got him there, man. Oh, he's really laying it in there. You know what I mean? I want people to be afraid what I'm going to do to them, because, you know, I've got, like I said, or I don't know if I said this in the last podcast or this podcast, but like you said, when you got all these heels that are taking the piss on you, you know, and you never quite get your hands on them. It's a lot of built up aggression. It's a lot of pent up rage and frustration. You know, your family is being insulted. Your dead family is being brought up, you know, and you know, my poor mother who just passed away, you know, from a meth overdose, you know, and having MJF back then, you know, calling her out for all of her vices and stuff. So it's a lot of wrestling is, at least for me, it is very real and it's very attached to my life. And so there's really no way to avoid it, you know. There's no way to avoid these types of angles and these types of promos where people are going to come after me. So I've got to find some way to sort of channel that energy into something very productive, and I think that's going to start to come through in my singles matches, and once I start to get my chance to take it out on some people. So
yeah, you said ground and pound. What other characteristics do you want your, you know, the character of Brian Pillman Jr. to be?
I tried to be Brian Pillman, you know, I mean, I tried to be the flying Brian. I tried to do a lot of that stuff. And I think people, you know, I think you saw how that worked out for me. A lot of guys, you know, were able to counter that type of offense. They kind of saw it coming. It was more or less predictable, you know, always just going to try and be like his dad, you know, he's going to do a crossbody, this, that, and the other, springboard clothesline. And I think people caught on to that quick, and ultimately, I was trying to be something I'm not, you know, I was just trying to be like my dad. And I think that's not so much who I am. I think who I am is I am a striker. You know, I like to train martial arts and things like that. So I think I am somebody that hits very hard and very often. You know, I can do a lot of things that a lot of people haven't seen yet. So I'm really excited to go into this new chapter of my career, where I am a little more selfish and I am a little more focused on what I want and what I can do. And I think I am being underestimated in a lot of ways, just because, you know, I have been trying to, you know, fulfill a role that is more so an extension of my father and not so much an extension of myself. You know, I didn't quite know my dad that much, but, you know, I have a lot of love for him and what he contributed to the business. And obviously he created me as well. So if I'm truly to fulfill his legacy and to live up to his name, then I need to sort of step outside his shadow and become my own man, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. Have you had any like conversations with like second or third generation superstars on like what to do in this position? Because yeah, you have the last name, but, you know, kind of like Flair, she, you know, made her own path for herself. Is there conversations to be had, and what do you ask if so?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for girls and guys, I'm sure. You know, I wouldn't say that she's a completely different wrestler. You know, she does a lot of the same tribute stuff to her dad, but she's an incredible performer. She's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite women's wrestler of all time. But I was also a big fan of her dad's too. But yeah, I talked to a lot of second generation wrestlers. There's sort of a bond between all of us. Everybody kind of has each other's connection, and everybody's kind of got each other's phone number. You know, I used to obviously be under Cody, and learning under him was a great privilege. I wish I'd have asked him more things. You know, I didn't know that his time was going to be scarce. You know, I think I took for granted having Cody around and having his mind, to be able to pick his mind. But the amount of times he did give me advice, I will never forget anything. You know, I will never forget all the things he's told me. So he was like obviously he's like the blueprint for a successful second generation wrestler. And then I've also talked to guys that are not in as much of a position I'm in. Like, you know, I'm not saying I'm in a bad spot. I'm in a great spot. I'm wrestling on TV. You know, I'm making a great salary, working for one of the coolest companies in the world. You know, my personal favorite wrestling company ever. But there are some things that I need to navigate to get further, to get to where I want to be. You know, if I was just complacent, I'd be just happy collecting a check, you know, but I'm not. So I'm really excited to start showing my value again and to start branching out and sort of becoming myself. And I think, you know, some of Cody's best advice has been to do just that, you know, to try to step outside the shadow of your father and try to become your own man And I think it's nice every now and then to throw in those little tribute spots or those little like homages to him. But
Yeah.
at this point, just I got to be myself. I got to show people who I am, and that I'm, not just, I'm not just a second generation wrestler. I'm not just Pillman's kid anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be the second Brian Pillman. I'm trying to be the first Brian Pillman Jr.
I love it. What a great answer. You still talk to Cody, or I know you said you didn't really talk. It seemed like you didn't really talk to him much. Do you still have, are you still in communications with him?
Yeah. If I text him, he'll text me right back.
Cool.
He's a good friend, a good resource to have, but he's definitely on a much busier schedule. And so
yeah,
I try not to bother too many people all the time.
Yeah.
Especially just because, I kind of have a good idea of what I need to do right now.
Yeah.
I've been doing really good with focusing on that, and instead of just asking and waiting for permission, I've just been taking action. I've been creating things, coming up with ideas, doing things, working out different matches, different styles. So I'm kind of finding out who I am, and that's a really beautiful feeling when you go looking for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you find out that you're this badass, like you find out that you have so much to bring, even more than you thought. It's like, oh wow, this is exciting. So
yeah,
that's like I found a whole new power, like a superpower that I've had locked up in me that I haven't been bringing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think maybe part of being put in a tag and just kind of being on such a big roster and just kind of waiting for my turn, maybe that kind of made me a little creatively stagnant. You know what I mean? And just kind of going with the flow. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow.
Of course.
But recently I've been really like tired of going with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, come on, 9-to-5 job.
If that makes
I have.
Sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I go through the flow every fucking
so I've
week.
just been thinking of, and even if that means just taking more indie shows and getting out there and trying new things, it's, I can't really control the booking and where I'm being used, but if they're going to give me an opportunity, I'm going to make the most of it. They're going to say, hey, we need you to go through a table for Luchasaurus. It'll be the best freaking table bump they'd ever see. You know what I mean? I'll make sure of that.
Yeah. When did you feel that? Like, when did you know? You said power. When did you feel like, okay, not enough is enough? Because like you said, you're enjoying your tag team right now, but still, like, when did you feel like that? Okay, it's time for me to shine. I'm done with this. Stop going through the flow and just, I don't want to say be you, because you're being you right now, but like, was there a moment where it's like, okay, maybe I can do something different? Maybe the transition needs to happen sooner than later.
I think some things happen for a reason, right? Once we lost Julia, I knew that something had to happen, right? Because she was sort of the third, three's a magic number, you know what I mean? You got a trio, you got a group that's balanced. I wish we could have done more, with that group. I wish we could have traveled more and like got the group over more. But like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I'm sort of blessed because I'm blessed that happened, because it really opened my eyes that there's something more out there for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When one door closes, another one opens. So I think it sort of started with Julia kind of going her own way and becoming, what she is now, which is definitely like a really cool evolution of her character. I'm nothing but happy for evolving into what she is now.
Yeah, that entrance is badass.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's cool. It's exciting. The people like it. I like it. I mean, shit. We had a great pay-per-view match. Had a great pay-per-view. I'm nothing but happy for him. But you know what I mean? It's at some point, I'm turning 29 this year. At some point, I could sit at home and just collect a check, but I'm just not that type of person.
No.
I'm a Pillman, and the Pillmans
right.
are very ambitious, very hungry people. And I think when I'm hungry and when I'm sitting at home and I'm working out and I'm just so excited, I think that's when I'm at my best. I think I'm at my best when I'm going through some adversity and I'm going through some friction.
Yeah.
It's when things are going good and easy, is then I start to relax a little too much.
Yeah.
And but no, it's when I'm hungry, when I'm ready for something new. I think that's good. So
there's
really no specific date and time that it happened. It was just kind of like, okay, we lost Julia. I started taking more indie dates. And then when you go out there in the indies and you remember, oh shit, you get a little bit of a confidence boost, you You got people lined up around the building to see you. You're having great matches because you're working with so many, you're working with so many good people at AEW. And then you bring that skill level and that fire and that intensity down to the indies and you go, oh shit, this guy's operating at another level. We can start paying this guy more. He can start going longer, bigger matches. And yeah, everything I've done in my career has happened for a reason, and it's all got me to where I'm at today. So I have no regrets, what I mean?
No.
Couldn't be happier in life.
Yeah, and it shows too. You're bulking up. You look good. You look big. You look.
Yeah, everybody says that. Like when they meet me, the fans are like, "I didn't know you were this big." Oh, damn. Well, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking busting my ass. And,
yeah. Well, it's different in person and then on TBS.
On TV, you can't tell as much, but then when you see me, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
So we were talking on DM Messenger, and you said you really want to tell your story. What are some things we don't know that maybe you want to tell the public? What do you want to tell the fans?
I don't want to give too much away of what's coming. But everybody knows my story. Everybody knows that how wrestling has affected my life and how it's put me, how it's had such an impact on who I am as a person and how I've developed, as a child. Obviously not having a father growing up, has a big impact on you. And then recently losing my mother and thinking, obviously just it's a snowball effect of things that happen in your life that kind of create the man that you are. And I think that, people are so used to this really upbeat, positive, varsity blonde kind of go lucky character. I think that that character lacks a lot of the depth that I have to bring to the table. And I think that, if I go down sort of a darker path and really show you guys, sort of the dark side of the ring, if you will, so
look at you.
Or sort of the darker side to my story and how wrestling kind of has affected me, and maybe I can express that through my art and really tell some powerful stories that aren't so simple as, oh, we're just a couple of fucking varsity athletes that are playing football and lacrosse. Like I've got some very serious content, some very dark and down to earth content that'll really strike, that'll really hit home with a lot of people. So I'm very excited to get, when I say tell my story, that's what I mean. I'm excited to really do what I think I was destined to do in wrestling.
Yeah. And it just seems like you want to be a heel. Is that true?
Am I giving it away too much?
Yeah, just a tad. But, I mean, how do you work on that? How do you work on your heel character? Is that indie shows? Is that dark? Is that, talking to people about, behind the scenes?
Well, and Cody used to say this all the time. I'm bringing back up Cody just because he was a great mentor and things like that. But I think baby faces and heels are contextual. I don't think that I'm trying to be any specific role. I'm not trying to be a villain or a hero. I'm just trying to be real. And when that reality comes out, when that realness comes out, then it's up to the crowd to decide how they want to respond to me.
Yeah.
I've been holding myself back for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's time.
Very long time. I've been holding in a lot of who I am, a lot of my ideas, a lot of my creativity has been held back. Not, by anything other than just timing, you know what I mean? It's not anybody's specific goal to hold me back. Nobody's trying to keep me locked up in this cage, but it's just a matter of the timing and how the show goes. And when it's time for me to come out of my shell, I think everyone's going to notice. I think it's going to be a very big deal, because I'm going to get a lot of buzz for what I'm about to do.
Yeah, dude, the confidence, you could just tell, man, you're ready. You're ready for the next episode, the next show, the next, whatever you want to say. Yeah. And it showed too with your dad too. Reality in the ring, you could just see how well he performed, and it just seems like you want to do something different, and I love it, man. That's what I want to see. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm a huge fan, but great, man, great. I got to ask about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Any relation? I mean, again, kind of like with the Cody question, is there still communication with Stone Cold? Because I saw you on an interview about 2 years ago, and he gave you a belt. You had a great Stone Cold impression. Can we hear some of it?
Yeah, kid, I got this weightlifting belt for you. I'm gonna send this down to you.
Yes. Is there still
No, I
any
mean,
communication? Because I know,
I'm very blessed to have been able to connect with Steve over the years, but there hasn't been too much recent talk lately. I think, well, obviously he just got done doing the WrestleMania gig.
yeah, dude,
So
that was sick.
I think he just got a big head after that, you know. And he just started big leaguing me. Yeah, fuck that kid. I'm in WrestleMania. No, I'm kidding, but no, I was down there in Dallas for it. So I got to see I got to see his moment. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And I got to watch Cody's moment too. So that's what we call them in wrestling, and we call them moments. We don't necessarily call them matches, you know. When you're behind the scenes, it's like, oh, he's having a hell of a moment out there.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Steve's great. I mean, super busy guy, I'm sure. Just
Of course.
not somebody I can just, always get a hold of. But I will say he will, if I text him and if I want to have a talk, he'll find the time for me. He definitely gives me the time of day when I ask for it. I just don't like, I don't like to ask
of course,
of these people,
No, I hear you. So what do you got planned for today other than these two?
Well,
interviews?
we have our dark tapings in Orlando tomorrow, which will be exciting. Be another opportunity for me and Griff to get out there.
Nice.
Maybe possibly get a win under our belt before our big tag match next week.
Yeah.
That's usually how they book stuff. That'd be great. It'd be fun, exciting. Maybe explore some new ideas for the future with Tony.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we just have our usual tapings. We do them once a month. I fly out this evening, like to get us in there the night before, so that's good.
Yeah. How does that go with Tony? Like if you want to do something different or you want to just talk about, maybe the next step in your career, do you just, I know we heard, go ahead, my bad.
Oh, you're fine.
We hear it all the time with Vince, walk to his office, you wait for 30 to, an hour, and then you come in, you talk. How is it like, how is your experience?
I think it used to be a lot different. Things were a little more personable when we were in Jacksonville because everybody was hanging out all the time. Now with TV and we're on the road, things are a lot more hectic. So there's not usually ever a good time, when he's so busy, so I just try to kind of keep to myself and whenever I do have the opportunity, just be brief and ask him questions, but generally a very busy guy. And I've learned that as we're on the road to just kind of hang tight and just wait it out and wait your turn, Now, there are some people, and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, you sit outside his office and wait in line.
Of course.
And they have like a checklist or whatever, and you can like check in and wait. But, anymore, I just feel like, there's got to be something to do on the horizon, right? Like I just showed up and they wanted us to do this deal with Luchasaurus and Christian. And I thought, okay, yeah, like let's 100% do that, get myself back on TV and get some good matches in, I think we'll have a great match with them. So I'm not too worried about it. And hopefully sooner or later we get to start our new story and stuff. So the Blondes have been around we've been wrestling for 2 years for the company, but our official, signing has been a year. So officially been signed for 1 year, but we started tagging shortly after we started working there. So sorry. We've both been there for 2 years. So it's really cool to have been a part of the company for almost as long as it's been around. Like I consider myself an original as much as any of the other guys. I told the last guy on the podcast that I was the first AEW entrance ever, at Double or Nothing, the first Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
I was the first person to come through the curtain at the company. So
you're
right there at the Casino Battle Royal. Yeah. So it's, it is what it is,
Yeah.
You just keep working, and I got a good contract there, and I'm excited to be there. Every week I'm there. I'm very happy to be there. So
well, Brian, where can I guess this is a stupid question, but where can people find you?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Flying Brian Jr., Instagram Flying Brian 41, and that's about it.
I dig it. Brian, cheers to you, my friend. Thank you for coming.
I also got a Twitch.tv
/
Brian Pillman Jr.